You run? Okay. All right, it is 2:06. Let's call this plant and equipment meeting to order. Item 2, public or committee comments. Seeing no public, is there any committee comments? Okay, move to item 3, variance request Kendall Avenue and LaMille Smith Family Trust.
All right, so in your handouts, there is a request for a variance and a map. So Pam Smith, as a representative of the Smith Family Trust, is requesting a variance to the requirement to construct a water line across the entire frontage of the parcel. You can see there it's APN 343-226. They're going to be running a water line from the corner of Kendall and Summit to the east to LaMille, and then they'll be going south 50 feet across their parcel. So there are plenty of other privately owned parcels around there, so it is possible in the future they're going to have to run that rest of that line. But if approved by the board, we'll need a covenant running with the land for that request. So
we'd already looked at this once before. They just lowered it down to Kendall Street instead of going through LaMille, correct?
instead of coming off of Monte Vista, they went up to off of Kendall, because I think there was an interest possibly for the parcel to the north
Okay.
that was recently sold, so.
Okay, so I recommend moving forward with it to the board.
Everybody using their microphones, please?
I have no concerns personally. As long as the staff feels this is appropriate, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, we've done this
So do you need a,
many times before.
No public comment? No, I don't see anybody watching. Okay, item 4, Inyokern Road Transmission Pipeline Repair Update.
Okay, so just to be clear, you both recommended the board
Correct.
approve it, okay. Okay, so WECA is the contractor that's gonna be doing the work. They are scheduled to mobilize for the repair on the 24th of this month. And they expect to get started on the 27th. And the repair will take about 4 weeks. We did have Far West Corrosion Control Company out, and they did their survey a couple weeks ago. I spoke to them yesterday, and he said they've been slammed, to say, with a lot of work, and he expects to have the report to us by the middle of next week. He did verbally indicate to me again that he didn't find any other problem spots in the area that he surveyed, which was from Pinto all the way to the Bowman tanks. So
That's good.
should be getting started on that very soon. We're going to be having a pre-construction meeting with WECA on Thursday.
All right. Are they gonna be using some of our property for a laydown yard, or?
Probably something we'll be
over there
discussing,
later night?
yeah.
Okay. All right, and then I was just worried because of the highway. I didn't know we were gonna leave everything there or move it off.
I'm sure there's things they'll have to leave out there,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, item 5, well 31 rehab.
So the latest from Lane, as of last Friday, they were still waiting on the motor to come back from being serviced, but everything else they had. So they expect end of this month, beginning of March, to mobilize to get that well back in service. So probably just in time for the repair on the pipeline so they can actually use the well, yeah.
Okay, any questions? Okay. Item
not
6,
here.
Okay.
booster station and tanks project.
All right, moving on. So the new tank up at the Gateway site, the corner Gateway and Javis, is online. We are using it. We did get approval by the state to start using it. The next step up there is to drain the old tank to get do some piping modifications, but there was an issue with the clay valve up there. So we're trying to work out some testing of the clay valve before we can empty the old tank and they can do those piping modifications. At the booster station, they finished up the electrical installation and there's inspections scheduled for later this week. They're expecting the motor control center, the MCC, to ship in April. So that's gonna be that's been the delay for that project this whole time, is taking so long. So that puts them off until probably July, getting that completely finished. So they're, once the electrical and stuff and SCE pulls their wires, there'll be a little bit of a standstill for a little while, but it's supposed to ship in April. The C-Zone tank's been constructed and they are working on inspection, testing of the coating. That's supposed to happen this week, and also disinfection, pressure testing of the inlet outlet piping. And up at the college site, they've completed the ring wall and the base and the interior part. They are now waiting for the subcontractor to return in March to start erecting that tank. So that's where we're at with that.
Questions? Thank you, Renee. Okay, item 7, arsenic treatment facilities.
We are still waiting for Pure Flow to give us a quote, a revised quote on just the installation portion of the under drain. I spoke with Don Pollard, who's their representative, and I expect to have that before the board meeting and to bring it to you guys then.
The intent is to have both the arsenic plants up this year running with the new system.
The intent is definitely to have Plant 2 up and running, and at worst case scenario is what I'm hoping is to have 2 of the vessels running in Plant 1, which would limit us to 1 well, but it's better than no wells.
Any other questions? Okay, moving forward, item 8, solar production report.
So phase 1, we had actual savings in January of 34,608, which came in below the guarantee of 36,682. January was a wet month for us, so we had some cloud coverage there. The phase 2, which is well 35 site, came in at $982 versus the guarantee of $1,475. I think that's both a combination of it being a cloudier month, and they seem to have estimated low or high for the winter months. I think that's what they were relaying last month, so that's where we're at. They are ahead for the year. So the year, if you look at the year as a whole,
Our guarantee's good.
yeah,
Is it because of the clouds that we were down a little bit?
yes.
Just the lack of sun?
Yep.
No other issues?
Well, for the well 35 site, so phase 2, it was both the clouds and they overestimated for the winter months. But the yearly guarantee is it will still meet.
All right, thank you. Item 9, future agenda items.
I have none.
Okay, we will adjourn at 2:14.